2, adoption of agenda.
The council adopt the agenda as presented.
All in, or second? All in favor?
I want to speak to something. There's no question period in here.
Yes, I forgot, I'm sorry, we can add it as we.
Oh. So there is now a question.
There is a question period, it's just I haven't had the agenda format done properly yet. They have to, and usually I added it and I forgot to add it in, I'm sorry, so if there's questions, it will be put back in there. Thank you. Yeah.
Alright, so all in favor? Okay. Alright, item number 3. Adoption of minutes recommendation.
The council adopt the minutes from the regular council meeting held on September 21st, 2022. Second.
All in favor? Alright, item number 4, introduction of late items.
Hello?
Hi.
How goes?
Good. Are you, okay, we'll just open that up over there.
Yeah. We're just here to review our variance
Letter?
application. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You don't need to.
Well, that's what I thought, but we got a call saying we should be here.
Not from me, you didn't.
No, not from you.
No. And it's me, you don't need to be here if you don't want to.
We're good? We can keep it, we're good.
Well, we haven't talked about it yet, but I'll let you guys know tomorrow, but I doubt there's gonna be any problem.
Okay, perfect. Oh, thank you guys.
You're
Enjoy your
welcome.
evening. Enjoy your evening.
Bye. Thank you, bye.
Alright, so item 4, introduction of late items.
Yep.
So 8.3, sorry, consent and release, and item 8.4, an advertisement for Remembrance Day. Do we have a second for those? Or do we need a second for those?
No, you don't.
Okay. Anybody opposed to those being on the agenda? Alright, cool. Alright, so item number 5, public hearings, none. Delegations, none. 7, unfinished business arising from the minutes. Alright, item number 8, new business recommendation.
The council received the email from Jay Milken and E. Strachan. Strachan, thank you, regarding a variance for the limestone in the ditches.
Second.
Apologize for the mispronunciation.
Discussion. Okay, so if they put limestone in the ditches and Public Works comes along through concentrating on their job, whatever, and they take the limestone out, what is the future? What would we have to, oh, okay.
We've had this conversation with the gentleman that just walked out. It's their driveways that have the limestone in them. Technically, it's against our bylaw to have anything in the ditch because it's our ditch. Both the Public Works Director and myself drove by, we took a look at it. It's very nice, it's done beautifully. They dug down, the culverts are not blocked. Everything is good. I talked to Public Works Director. I said, do you see an issue with it? Do you want me to ask them to move it? And he said no. He said there will not be a problem. And the two gentlemen have agreed that if there is a problem and something needs to be moved, they will either move it or they understand that our Public Works will remove it and that they will have to fix it. If council agrees to this, we are going to draw up some sort of agreement that states that they are responsible for the cost of putting it back if something happens like that. But we don't see a problem with it.
Okay, I just thought of that.
So if everybody's, sorry,
All in favor?
all in favor of what?
Allowing the variance for 4838 and 4836 on Elevator Road.
Second.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, and no opposed, alright, moving on. 8.2 recommendation.
The council set the date of the Old Fashioned Christmas celebration.
Seconder on that one? Okay.
My only question I have about this is, do we know when the Christmas light up is happening in Dawson Creek?
Always happens the second or third weekend in, but usually happens right after Remembrance Day.
Okay, so we're way away. So usually,
typically what happens with the, our Christmas thing is we usually hold it the third weekend in November,
Mhm.
okay? Given that today is October the 19th, we've kind of got a little, so we were wondering if council was okay with us pushing it to either December 2nd or December 3rd. So the 2nd is the Friday and the 3rd is the Saturday.
So with that, does Les have anything over at the museum going on for
He's
the old fashioned, or is he
doing-
just gonna wait and see what our dates are?
I have no idea. I know that they're planning their own type thing, but nobody's come to talk to us.
Could it be something to maybe poke us and see if we can get them to kind of coincide?
Well, they can have theirs on the 2nd, yeah? Or we can talk.
Daniel?
Normally it's, the museum and the library that sort of team up as well, so maybe once we get the dates, we could put that out to them and say like, this is when it's happening, and hope we hear some feedback come out.
Cause I'm okay with the dates.
I think the second weekend in December is pushing it. You're getting too much into
Mhm.
people's,
Busy.
right?
And that's a Friday? Then
The
you-
2nd is a Friday,
And then,
the
okay,
3rd. So
so you want it on Friday night?
I think that would be best, cause then staff doesn't have to come in
Come in
on
on
Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay. So,
I motion that we hold it on the 2nd, which is the Friday.
Second.
All in favor? None opposed? Alright, moving on to item number 9, course.
yep, 8.3.
Oh, 8.3, my apologies. 8.3, late item. So, let's Sandy.
So basically, what I'm looking for is council's permission to sign off for Celtic to take pictures of the lagoon work and post it to their website.
Is this for their advertising or just?
I think so.
Okay.
What
They
show
can
what
do-
type of work, yeah,
They can do.
exactly.
Danny?
And Celtic, they were the contract that removed the weeds and all that kind of stuff, or which?
They're the ones who were awarded the lagoon
Right,
project.
yeah, the main project,
Yes.
okay, yeah. It's,
So can I have a motion to, make
I-
a motion that
I-
it's okay to sign off?
Yeah,
I'll second it.
motion, yeah, that it's all right for them to take pictures of the work
All
that
in
they.
favor? Okay, and on to the other late item before we move on. So item 8.4, that council decides which advertisements they would like to publish in the newspaper. Councilor?
Oh, second.
Alright, discussion. Councilor Beach?
There a quote on here that I'm missing?
No.
Oh.
Quote. There's no quote, it's an advertisement we do in the paper every year. We just wanna know which one you like best.
I like 8.4.
No. Page one, page two, or page
sorry,
three?
page 1 of 8.4, thank you.
So the best way to do this, like we do with the pins, is everybody mark which one they want, and we'll just. That was much easier when we did the Canada Day pins that way. Mark it and send it. Oh. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, we marked it.
Thank you.
And if there's a tie, you get to be the tiebreaker.
I have a question.
Councilor Smith?
It's about $750, is it not? It depends on how big we put it.
Yeah, it's not very big. I think it cost us 500 last time,
Okay.
or less. She says 450.
Councilor Beach?
Does the money from the advertisement go to the Legion, or
No.
do we
This
make?
is just an advertisement on behalf of the village to the community that happened to remember it.
And then do we make a donation to the Legion normally on Remembrance Day, or?
We do when we
Talk
do
about
that.
November 2nd.
Okay. We can talk about that November 2nd, okay?
We just need to know about this right now.
Okay.
Typically, you
I was
guys,
just thinking, like, I wonder if we could take those funds and donate them.
the wreath that we do is the donation.
Okay.
So there's laying of a wreath, and we make a donation to them for that. And then there's a donation that's done to the Legion later on, typically in the last couple of years. The advertisement for their book, they have a Yukon book, that's the advertisement that council has typically, instead of placing the ad in that book, they've given the money to the Legion for that ad.
Councilor Smith?
Previous councils have, instead of putting it in the paper, there's not a paper to buy, it's in the Mirror or whatever. Instead of putting that money in advertisement, they donate it to the Legion. Just previously, instead of paying twice. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
So does council not want an advertisement? It's up to you guys, you don't have to.
When do we need to make a decision?
Now?
Can't tell you at the second.
No, because it'll be too late for the paper.
Council Reach.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it would be better to donate to our Legion instead,
You wanna do it twice in 1 year?
rather than pay the money out.
Or you could just say you don't wanna do this at all and leave it at that.
Which newspaper does this go into?
We only have one.
The Mirror. They don't have a daily, I don't take the newspaper on you.
Oh, no, once a week, Mirror. I mean, if council does not wanna do an ad, just let us know, we don't have to do an ad.
Councilor Schwab?
My suggestion is to not do this and give the Pooskabee Legion a $500 check, because they include, it's sort of the village Remembrance Day ceremony.
Yeah, I
Just one, it'd be hard to do it, give them 2 donations.
wait, what, repeat what you said? Sorry. So yeah, so are you putting that motion on the floor that you would like?
That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the money would be better than giving to the Legion, rather than paying for that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Rather than paying for the.
Because you do that pretty thing in our newsletter too,
Yes.
lest we forget.
Yes, in our Village Voice for November.
Yes. Okay, so can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
That council just says no to this, because we will be bringing forward the book ad probably late November, December, and at that time we can make a motion to donate that money to the Legion, if you don't wanna donate it twice.
Can I get
So
someone?
I would say make a motion to not do this.
Councilor Reach?
Okay, I make the motion that we scrap the advertisement and, relook towards,
That's all you're gonna say?
yeah,
Okay. Seconder?
Seconder?
I'll second.
Alright. All in favor?
Okay.
Alright, so that brings us to item number 9, correspondence. So, is there any correspondence starting in order that anybody's wanting to discuss? Councilor Pete?
9.2. That council receives the reports from the bioanimal control officer's information. I just want an awareness about, and concerns as well. In this report on September 16th, 14:30, resident is voicing concerns on behalf of a friend on 49th Street. It gets kind of convoluted when you're saying your friend, and
Well, you can't give names in these reports.
no, you can't, but I could say, oh, my friend across the street, which I don't know very well at all. My friend across the street heard a dog barking and I'd like to complain for them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does this make sense? It sounds very convoluted to me.
so like you're saying that they should have to make the phone call themselves,
Yes, a third party,
complain.
yeah, it's just a little odd.
So he's just making note of the call that he
Yes,
got.
I
He's not
understand.
saying what he did, if he did
No.
anything, and he may have told the person that same thing.
Yes.
Because it's very rare that the bylaw officer will take a third party complaint, because he usually waits for the,
Okay.
but I can ask him to, I don't know, Don't put that in.
Counselor Smith?
When we have a complaint, don't we have to do paperwork? Doesn't the person, why? If they act on it,
Depends what the complaint is. If it's a complaint to the bylaw officer, it's a phone call to the bylaw officer. We don't
Okay.
have complaint forms for the bylaw officer. If somebody in the village has a complaint, like,
he has garbage all over his yard.
yeah, we ask them to come in and file a complaint. It's kind of hard for the bylaw officer to get a formal complaint when he's a roving, like he doesn't have an office, he doesn't have. But very often, quite often, people will come into our office and give us a written complaint, and then we will pass it on to the bylaw officer. So if they do take the time to come in and fill out the complaint form, which is what we've tried to encourage everybody to do, but if it's after hours, they can't come in and fill out a complaint form.
All right, anything else?
I also wanted to mention that with the bylaws, and it's something that has been brought up before, where someone is impeded physically to be able to complete a task for bylaw, a complaint comes in, and because that bylaw is so tight that a senior who's has vision problems ended up getting a fine. So, and they're unable.
With something like that, if, say they got a fine because they're unable to do it, could they not bring that into the village and contest that? Or phone the village and contest that? And then we can look at the circumstances?
Yeah.
Yes, they could. But we don't have any policies like that in place, so that would be something for council to look at addressing, administration to maybe look into a policy that deals with that. I don't know if there's one out there yet. but-
Councillor Smith?
I would like to make the suggestion that future council look at our property bylaw, a more friendly place, because if a 70-year-old vision impaired person gets a $100 fine for not mowing his lawn, is that the way we wanna have our community? Like, is that the future of our community? You know what I mean? Each case, especially when you're dealing with a senior, or somebody's going through cancer treatments, or, you know what I mean? I think our property bylaws are too stringent. It's not for a friendly community like ours. That's just what I'd like to suggest.
Councillor Reach?
With our bylaw, does it not have like a ticket, step-by-step process, like your first one is a warning, then it's a written warning, then it's a
The
ticket?
person that the counselor's talking about did get warnings
Okay,
and they got a fine
okay,
and never reached out to our office.
so it did follow that
Yes.
normal process?
Yeah.
So, and there is that process in
Yes.
place?
Nobody ever gets a fine the first time.
No,
They always get a warning.
Councillor Reach?
Yeah, but when you're looking at someone who's dealing with their own issues, they won't reach out. It's just not high on the list of priorities. It's just, now I've got this thing I have to deal with, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. We just don't know these situations. It would be really nice if there was some way of having some kind of leeway, like you were saying.
Why don't you make a motion? Well, I guess.
No, that would be for you guys
Yes.
to discuss later on. I just want you to be
Something
aware
to
that,
bring up to council.
that this can happen. You can wrap people up who have an inability.
Councillor Smith?
I am working on a list of people that we can reach out to situations like this. Like, cause was in the same boat. And I am, just on my own knowledge, gonna look out. And for future, something like this can comes in, please contact me. I will gather somebody up, whether we have to go over with our lawnmowers and not let something like this happen.
Sort of like a good neighbor.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you thinking of putting out like a pamphlet or something up on the board over there?
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm working on it. I'm gonna get a few more names that we can get some help, but I don't want this to happen. That's not my community.
So, is that ticket still outstanding, or is that ticket unpaid?
Oh, it's been paid.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's,
Yeah, something to definitely look at going forward.
yeah.
Alright, anything else from correspondence that anybody wants to discuss or bring up?
Also going back to our bylaws, we have the fireworks, we're in a drought, severe drought.
Set off fireworks.
Pardon?
We have a bylaw that states they're not allowed to set off fireworks.
And there's category 2
I
fireworks.
understand that, but there's still,
I heard fireworks the other night, and we're in the biggest drought, and our area is red, like we are high risk.
The thing is, unless
Halloween's coming.
well, the thing is, unless you get their address and, you know, you can get video proof of it and everything else, they're simply aren't gonna make it here in time, and bylaw's not gonna make it here in time.
No, but
So I will let you know that by law and the fire chief are going to step up patrols on Monday night, Halloween, okay? We are also going to enlist Mountain Safety, who is doing our weekend patrols. We're gonna ask them to do an extra night and be on patrol here, because, bylaw can't be everywhere at the same time, so they're all gonna take areas and they're gonna do it throughout the night, so hopefully that will help.
awesome, thank you.
Alright, any other correspondence? Going once, going twice, already. Going on, item number 10, resolutions, none. And 11, bylaws.
The council gives fourth reading and adopts bylaw number 1042, tax exemption 2022.
second.
Alright. Discussion, this is for the church.
This is for the 3 properties listed on the bylaw. Did I not attach the bylaw?
I seen the one for the church, but I didn't see the other two.
They're all there.
I just,
Yes, they're all there.
okay.
Sorry, who was that? Barbara Marlene? Sorry,
Yeah.
Councilor Smith and.
Counselor Hebert. Yeah. Alrighty, so anybody opposed?
Or I guess all in favor, call that one first. Alright, there's nobody left to be opposed to it.
Alrighty, now we'll move on to administrative report, 12.1, CAO's report.
Okay, so I don't have a whole lot to report. Have a couple things. One, the museum brought over, if anyone is interested, he brought over the receipts for the materials that they used for the roof. I brought a copy for everybody, it's not for you. And he also provided us with our insurance, or his insurance and insurance. So, just so everyone knows, we have that on hand. Second of all, an opportunity has come up for our office to participate in what is called EMBC core training, so Emergency Management BC core training. It has to do with the initiation of an emergency operations center, connections with incident command posts, ICP, okay, and EOC and pre-OC, and thank you. I have taken some of the course. Anyway, what we are asking of council is we are wondering if council would be okay if we close the office next week on October 26th for the day to enable all of our staff to go and participate in this training in Chetwynd.
So it's in Chetwynd, is all the village staff going? And if there's extra spots, have you opened them up to any members of the fire department?
We'd have to ask the fire chief that. He's the one that suggested we go to this.
No, it's good training, actually. It's actually really good training. You guys will.
So,
Really?
I imagine he's going to talk to the fire.
This is just EOC Essentials?
This is called EMBC core training.
Okay, so it's probably pretty much.
And it's to focus on the initiation, community evacuation and reentry. Yeah, and they're hosting it there, and I just believe it's a really good opportunity. It's not costing us anything other than the gas to get there. and a date of closing out.
I'll make a motion that staff participates in that emergency.
Second, I've attended EOC meeting and it's very, very good knowledge.
Fire chief and I talked about it, and initially it was just gonna be the two of us going, and then I said, well, maybe it would benefit everybody, because none of us have really.
It really does, especially like if it gets to the point where like getting set up ahead of time for stuff like a community evacuation and proper community planning.
Yeah.
And it makes it a lot easier when myself as a counselor comes to you and say, hey Sandy, have we thought about this? And we can speak the same language. So yeah, I think it's a great idea, especially after being involved with Kelly Lake evacuations and a few others this year.
Okay.
It's definitely good training. So all in favor of staff doing it?
Thank you. Okay, and other than that, as you know, I've been busy with elections for the last couple of weeks, and I would just say, I'd like to say, it's been a pleasure working with all of you. I've really learned a lot from everybody. Barb, you've been here from the beginning since I've been here, and I'm looking forward to working with the new council, but you'll all be missed. So I hope you stop in every once in a while.
I'll pay my water bill.
I promise. Be here, but anyway. But other than that, I don't have much to say. And on that note, do either of you want to say anything? Just no? Okay.
Alright.
So yeah, that's it. Oh, and I'm leaving as soon as we're done.
Alright, so that brings us to action items. Is there anything on the action items that anybody would like to discuss?
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is council okay with us taking number 7 off of this list?
Yes.
It says reach out to the PRD for information on connectivity, and we just went through everything with the election, so are we okay with taking that?
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
All in favor? Sold.
Thank you.
Kenny?
I have a question about number 8. Did they look into that no through road sign? Have you heard anything?
Oh, good question. I asked Public Works about signs. I'll send him a note.
He said he's working on
He's working on a list. We have a whole pile of signs to order, so he may be
Oh,
working.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could just double check that.
Okay.
Anything else? Alright, that brings us over to capital and special projects. I see a whole lot of complete on there.
Let me see.
So, number 12.
Yep.
The RCMP capture program.
Yep.
Now the member that was spearheading that transferred out of the area. Do we want to poke him again and kind of see what's going on with that project?
If you'd like me to.
Yeah, just shoot him an
It was his initiative, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
and
He's leaving, or gone, I think, so.
That was until the end. Oh, it is almost the end of October.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see if I can reach out to somebody.
Councillor Smith?
Number 4, the STARS donation. We had STARS at the last regional district doing a presentation, and they had called in STARS for the 2 ladies for the bear attack. Now, they sent the brand new helicopter. It's like a miniature operating room.
Oh, yeah.
So by the time they landed in Edmonton, they had did a CAT scan, an ultrasound, everything. She was not admitted. She was taken immediately to the operating room. Time was of the essence. So I just want to say that our community, the STARS, is a very important donation to maintain, and I hope in the future you guys continue with that, because it really made a difference in that patient.
Alright, anything else on there? Alright, so that brings us to reports. Councillor Heber.
Yes, I meant to drive by Hardin Park. I got a phone call from, this is for Bruce Hardin. This park was named after, and his nephew called and asked what was going on with that park, if it was,
What's wrong with it?
he just asked if there was anything being done there. And I don't know. I was going to look, but I didn't, because I had to pick up my granddaughter.
Councilor Reach?
This is the park up in Wilkesville, right?
Yes.
I actually was going to talk on that park as well. I was up there recently because I had a sign up there. There's no light in that park. It's pitch black. Pitch black. You can't even, like, you go from the corner where the stop sign is down around, and it's like no man's land in that area. There's not a single light.
There's no light in the park?
No, and it is pitch black.
Yeah, it's just down the street on the other side of the
Yes,
park. and
so
then
it's on
before you
this
get to
side of the corner and here, and there's a good 500 feet of nothing but blackness.
That's 55th, right?
Yes, I think so, yeah. So if we
We just put a request in to have another light installed on that road,
perfect.
but it's not there.
Yeah, that might be another place to look, because that, when I drove by there, I could not believe how dark it was. It was, like, you couldn't even see the shadow of the equipment. That's how dark it was.
Councilor Smith?
We'll look at it.
The July 1st Foundation had left money for the parks, and Hardin Park was one of them. So maybe, I don't know, update the playground equipment if you get a light in there. Like, that stuff that's there is very, very old, whether or not we have to have a community Sunday afternoon to reinstall.
It's been on the radar for a few years. We did order some benches for it, which are still sitting at Public Works. We bought new benches for all the parks. The only park that's had them installed so far is the one next to the office. And I believe we have a picnic table for up there as well. And then, yes, we still have foundations. So it is something we can look into.
Thank you. That's it.
Oh, great. Councilor Smith?
I just want to thank you guys. It's been, I'm very humbled, and I'm really happy that I stepped up in the community, and you know what I mean? And I wish everybody well, you know what I mean? And you're gonna be okay.
I'm gonna cry.
But, yeah, it's been fun. It's been a big learning curve. And I'm excited on my new adventures that I've already started.
Councilor Smith again?
Well, that's
I'm sorry.
Oh, you wrote something. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I have to be correct. All my hopes and dreams for this village, shared only with the Creator, are now with our newly elected mayor and council. The difficult topic of inappropriate, anti-Semitic, Holocaust, racist, and conspiracy posts Mayor McKetty will forever be known for are now only hers, not an entire community's. Our village can begin our healing journey. Our newly elected Mayor Danielle Veach, descended from the Mohawk, now proudly represents our community, along with a council full of energy to bring us to face the future with hope and prosperity we so deserve. I sadly must step aside and wish you all the best. May all your decisions be guided by the Creator.
Very nice. Got me going.
Councilor Reach? When you're done wiping your eyes, it's your turn.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, you guys are gonna be, unbelievably nice. You know, the nice thing is that we've formed this relationship, and so, you know what, the phone is always available both ways, you know? I know that you're both a well of information, past and present, and I've used that a lot myself, and Councilor Little has used that a lot, and you know, it's nice to know that you guys are just a phone call away, and that wealth of knowledge is still there, and so that reassures me a little bit as well, so thank you. I was busy with the election for the most part. But I did actually have the opportunity, strangely enough, to team up a little bit with Courtney at the library. I was in there a few weeks ago, and she sort of tossed around the idea of doing a family game night within the community, and having it where either families could rent out a game to take home, or they could stay at the library and play a game. I thought it was a fantastic idea, and I wanted to sort of help her get that off the ground. So I donated and purchased some games myself, and delivered them today, the last bit of them. And then the library themselves also donated, also purchased games as well. And we're kind of working together in the midst of doing that. So it's been about a 3 weeks to a month project we've been kind of working on getting out there, but I'm really excited about that. And then I also did talk to her about that sign that she was wanting for the library. Where did we decide we were going to put that again?
We haven't yet.
We haven't? Okay. She was, when she spoke to me, she was talking about putting it, you know where the library doors are, where you enter in, there's right across, there's that green
So
space.
Staff discussed it today, so we're looking at doing 3 signs. Okay, we're looking at updating, you know where the museum sign is right now on the highway?
Yeah.
We're looking at having that sign redone, because it's pretty ratty-tatty, and, you know, so we're gonna get a price to do that, but then it's kind of gonna be like a wayfinding sign. So we'll have the museum there, then we'll have a bar for Pooskoopi Library, and we'll also have one for Pooskoopi Community Center. Because at the election, there was an unbelievable amount of people that did not know Pooskoopi had a community center. It was, this is the community center? I thought this was the school gym. No, we have a community center? I didn't even know where the community center was. So we talked about it today, and we'll have one done like that for there. We're also gonna have the same kind of sign, or this is what we're gonna propose to the next council. I shouldn't say we're doing it. We're gonna do the same out as you're coming into town, so that both signs match. And then we talked about having one put just where that cement barrier is, kind of pointing towards the door, saying, this is where the library is, this is where the community center is. So it's kind of a, you know, and maybe even one just off the highway by Redwood over here, saying this library and community center down there. So we have talked about it, just, it is a process, we have to do estimates and stuff. And
Yeah, because Courtney had mentioned that she was wanting a sign sort of, on where that parking is pointing.
she can have a sandwich board made and put it out every day. I mean, she can do that right now.
She could do that
What
too.
does the sign say on the side of the building now?
It says Pooskoopi Public Library and Community.
Municipal. She can say
Sorry,
municipal.
Municipal Public Library and Community Center. But it's sort of, you know how the building is shaped where the one part of it is out and then the gym is recessed? It's on the recessed part, so you can't see it from the highway.
Yeah.
And we're not, you know, it's not in black, it's in like silver letters.
Yeah,
So
bad lettering.
You also can't see it from the highway because the sun shines right, it blends into the building, right? So it's sort of a mixture of multiple things. But she did mention the sign while we were also talking, and I had said that you brought that forward, and so. And that, that's what's I had going on.
Alright, I guess that brings it to me. Busy with the election this last week, and I'd like to thank you guys for, this first year and first step into council. It's definitely been a learning curve, and, thank you guys muchly, and, expect phone calls down the road to be like, hey, so, what'd you guys do for this back there? So, don't be surprised if you get one of those. But, I guess, since I'm acting mayor right now as well for this meeting, and acting chair, I'd like to thank you guys on behalf of the village for your guys' service over the years, and, look forward to seeing you guys and your work within the community as we move forward.
We'll be residents, we'll have a voice. Not where council where I can't say anything. I'm just warning you.
And I love to write letters. Please receive them.
Oh, this is what the question period was for.
So we can come back and heckle us. Alright, item number 14. In-camera session per section 91 of the community charter recommendation.
The council moves to in camera as per section 91 GMM of the community charter.
It's supposed to be NFG, but anyway. All good. Seconded?
Hold it for me.
Second?